Hello, I'm Peter Towers. Welcome to the ESS Small Business ESS Biz Grants overview. The Grants Identifier process. The Grants Identifier will assist business people to gain a better understanding of government grants, some of which may apply to your business. The step-by-step process will assist you to identify grants for your small, medium enterprises. You will be asked some basic information about your business, which will be then entered into the business profile form relative to the corporate structure, turnover, employee numbers, location of your business. So when you have a look at the business profile form, step 1, complete section A, business details, you will be asked to type in your firm name. We've used Test Client Proprietary Limited as the sample for you today. You will then be asked to identify which type of entity that your organisation is. We've selected a company. Please put a cross in the one that applies to you. But if you're a sole trader, obviously you cross sole trader or whatever your business entity is. The next question relates to how many years have you been operating in business? Government grants have various time frames. Some grants are applicable to brand new startup businesses, so you'd cross nil, 0 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years, or over 3 years. We've crossed over 3 years because this business, the hypothetical business, is 6 years of age. Briefly describe your business operation. This is very important for us because it gives us some insight as to what your business does. The hypothetical business is a manufacturer of steel products for clients who are primarily involved in mining, sugar milling, and industrial markets. That's great information if you can give that to us. And in this hypothetical, this company also indicated that we are developing a new product that we plan to launch onto the market. If you are doing something like that, or indeed anything that's a little bit different, please show us on the form so that we get a better feel for what your business is doing, and that will help us to identify some grants that otherwise might have been overlooked. The next question relates to the industry code. This is very important because this allows us to connect your type of business to the various grants that are on offer by the governments, both state and federal and territory. The industry code is a 5-digit number, and it is the code that the Australian Taxation Office utilises to describe a type of business. So structural metal product manufacturing, which our hypothetical company is code 22210. You can find your code from your tax return because it's normally disclosed as the industry code, or you can click on to the link here, which will take you to the Australian Taxation Office summary of business industry codes, because it is the tax office that prepare these codes. The next question relates to the financial details. The first component is your turnover. There are different categories because grants have got various category components. So for our hypothetical, which had a turnover of about $6.4 million, we have identified $1.5 to $20 million. Is the business registered for GST? You will need to be able to answer yes for that if you're going to obtain a government grant. Is the business tax exempt? If you answer yes, you will not get access to many grants within this system because this system has been developed for businesses which are not tax exempt. Is the business involved in research and development? We've answered yes here. If you do answer yes, can you please give us an idea of how much money you have spent in the previous 12 months? That will give us an idea of the level of commitment financially within your business to research and development expenditure. Most government grants ask the question, is your business solvent? So please answer that. Solvent means that you're able to pay your expenses as they fall due based on the arrangements that you have made. So if you've got arrangements with your bank with a bank overdraft, or you've got undrawn down loan facilities, take that into account when determining whether your business is solvent. Does your business have a business plan? Some government grants require the business to have a business plan when the application is submitted. That's the reason we're asking that question. And we'd also like to know when it was produced. Because it was produced 10 years ago, we will be suggesting to you that your business plan needs to be updated. This next section is then looking at the location of the business. We've selected an address in Townsville. Please make sure the postcode's included, the contact person, your telephone number, contact email address. If you have a Skype address, please include it, and your business website. If you have one, please give us the details. The website will allow us to do a bit more research on your organisation. If we need to talk to you, we would prefer to do so via Skype. But if you haven't got Skype, that's all right. We will use telephone and email to talk to you further about the grants that are on offer. The next segment that has to be answered is where you identify the states or territories that you're operating your business in. Just please put a cross in the box for the appropriate state or territories. The next question relates to the locations. The Australian government has this concept of inner regional, outer regional, remote, very remote, inner metropolitan and outer metropolitan. And also there's a definition of Northern Australia. There are some grants for each of these locations, so please mark the location that you believe applies to where your business operates. You can click onto the maps, which will give you a detailed indication relating to your area. Now, at this stage, you've completed the first 4 steps. So step 5 is the subscription payment. So if you're happy, you wish to proceed with the application to ESS Small Business to undertake a review, to give you a report on the grants that we believe that your business would be eligible to apply for, you will need to complete your subscription at www.esssmallbusiness.com.au and make your payment of the fee of $199, including GST. And at the same time, can you email the completed business profile form to us? Our team at ESS Small Business will then start working on the information contained in your business profile form to prepare a report for you. ESS Small Business will process the information to identify grants that we believe that you are potentially eligible for, and will submit a grant report to you together with individual articles or papers on each of the grants identified in the report. And if possible, we will also send you the individual application requirement forms, which you can then utilize to assist in the preparation of the grant applications. You could receive quite a bit of information, which will be all emailed back to you. And it's part of our professional service to produce a report which will identify the grants, state, federal, or territory that your business is potentially eligible to apply for. And we're going to give you additional information so that you can read about the particular grants that have been identified. You'll be then able to understand the application process and the ongoing reporting process if you are accepted into that grant. So we're going to now show you a sample of a grant report. We'll just go through the preliminaries. And this is now the grant report that has been prepared. It will have your name on it. Obviously, this one's for Test Client B2Y Ltd. It will be dated, and it will identify, in this case, that there are 7 potential eligible grants that we located for this client. The report will then give a brief synopsis on the grants that have been identified, and will also give an indication as to the amount of funding that is available from this grant, which could be from $5,000 to $1 million on a 50% basis. But just have a look at the rest of the report. This particular client, who's in the steel fabrication industry, has been identified as being potentially eligible, potentially able to apply for an apprenticeship incentive, skill-based apprenticeships. The business could also be potentially eligible for the Business Growth Grant. This is a very popular government grant that's available to about 600 different types of business entities that operate in the government's high growth industries, according to the government: advanced manufacturing, food and agribusiness, medical technologies and pharmaceuticals, mining equipment, technology and services, oil, gas and energy resources. The minimum turnover is $1.5 million. The maximum is $100 million. And all applicants must have an ACN, and all businesses applying for this grant must have been in operation for at least 3 years. So that's the summary on that one. We then have the Centre for Defence Industry Capability, an overview of how that grant operates, and then a specific commentary on the Capability Improvement Grant that's available from the defence industry. And we have the Export Market Development Grant, because you might recall that we indicated that this business was an exporter. And this business is a company, and they have spent in excess of $20,000 on research and development, so they could be eligible for the research and development tax incentive. So that's all summarised. So that's the grant report that you will receive. We then talk about the papers or articles that we're going to supply to you. The first one's on accelerating commercialization. There's one then on the Centre for Defence Industry Capability. And we're also going to show you the documentation which we have to assist you in the preparation of the grant application. So I'm calling up now paper 014196, which is the paper that we have written on accelerating commercialization. Now, this is a big grant. You might recall this is the one for up to $1 million on a 50% government funding basis, which obviously means that $2 million worth of work could be undertaken. The average grant is around $350,000, which means $700,000 worth of work. And I'm just slowly going through the index so you get an idea of what's included in this. To get $1 million out of the federal government, you've got to make sure your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And there's a fair bit of information that the government requires. This program is administered in the direct communication with small, medium enterprises by 32 business officers who are all drawn from private enterprise, who are all experts in their area, who are located throughout Australia, mainly in the capital cities, but some in provincial cities, but they service the entire nation. So this is just giving you an overview of the paper so you can gain some appreciation of how the papers are structured. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what you're going to receive. The next item I want to show you is the Accelerating Commercialization Grant Application Requirements. This is the step-by-step process that we have prepared to guide an applicant through the process of preparing the grant application yourself. Or you could hand this to the person who's going to prepare the grant application on your behalf. It's part of the package that you're paying ESS Small Business a fee for. I'll then show you the Centre for Defence Industry Capability paper. This is a new grant that the federal government have released. It's part of the Defence Department's strategy to get a lot closer to contractors, businesses who are undertaking work for the defence industry. So this paper summarises what it's about. In the first process, you apply to go through a review process with a consultant employed by the defence industry. And then if you are approved by that person, that reviewer, and you are then invited to be able to submit an application for a specific grant. So we have these types of detailed articles for every grant that's contained within the system so that you can read about how the grant operates and what your reporting requirements are going to be. This is the application requirements for the defence industry grant, basically in the same sort of format as the previous one, guides you through what's got to be included so you can tick it as you've inserted the amount into the system or the details into the application. You can process the grant application yourself. That's the whole basis of how we've prepared this system. However, if you don't wish to prepare the grant application yourself, you could request that ESS Small Business supply you with a proposal, which we'll be happy to do so. And you could then appoint us as your application preparers, and we will submit a proposal to you as to the investment that you would be asked to make with us if you wish us to prepare the grant applications for you. So that's a decision that you don't need to make before you've completed the paperwork and submitted it to us. You can wait until you see the grant report. You've got the articles on the grants that have been identified, and you've got the forms to assist you with the self-preparation of the grant applications if you wish, or you can ask us for a proposal, which we will be happy to send to you. So thank you for your interest in the ESS Grants Identifier. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Send an email to admin@esssmallbusiness.com.au or give us a telephone 1-800-232-088. Have a great day. Goodbye.